Hey, hey, lovely people. How are you? Nice to see you. I'm accompanied by the sound of a fly, which I'd really like to get out of here, but I can't because now I'm sitting down. But there is a fly. I think it has fly friends, and they're all making a lot of fly noises around me. So you may not be able to hear it. Hopefully you don't. But if you do, I'm sorry about the fly. How are you all? It's a warm, grey day here today. But it's actually okay. I don't mind it. It could be a little bit cooler, to be honest, but it's okay. I have some nice news for you today. I'm going to just see if people jump on. How are you? Lovely to see you. Another damp day in Canterbury. Hello, everybody. It's lovely to see you. I hope you're doing lots of happy knitting. It just feels like the world is still upside down and round the corner at the moment. So I hope wherever you are, you're okay. It's been pretty tough down here in New Zealand. I don't remember what had happened last week when I spoke to you, but it's been really tough for lots of people. Hi, Maureen. Lovely to see you. Good morning from Melbourne. What's your Melbourne weather like today? Tell me what's happening over there. Your lovely parcel arrived yesterday. All right. I don't know who that would be. Tell me who that is. Your lovely parcel. I sent lovely parcels too. I sent quite a few lovely parcels out the other day, so I'm not sure who that would be. I've got a nice stack of yarn. I actually got another box of yarn in the other day before all the floods, actually. I got a box of yarn delivered from Skeins with top-ups of all the yarn. So if you want anything, now is the time. We are all our posters going as normal. So everything's in. I've got something of everything at the moment, so that's good news. I might need to get a little bit more already. I might need to get a little bit more of just one of them, but otherwise we're all good. So if you want to grab yarn, posters going as normal from my end, and it just depends where you are, because some of you I know have got real disruptions with delivery. So you spare that in mind, but otherwise we're all good at this end. Oh, goody. People are coming through on YouTube as well. Fantastic. Colleen. Oh, yes, Colleen. Oh, brilliant. That was good. That came to you nice and quick. It's going to be a scorcher, lots of pollen, so not great for hay fever. Oh, no, that's a real bother. Hay fever is not something I've ever suffered with, thankfully, but I do lose my voice. My voice gets quite light. I notice that at certain times of the year. It's like it just takes away some of the power, and my voice could be shouting, but also I think it's just the pollen. Good morning from Napier. Wet again and cool. I'm so lucky I can tune into you, aren't you, just because it's been really tough for you guys down there, and I'm glad you've got some power and you can tune in. It's not good news. It's wet again though. I'm really not looking forward to everybody getting more rain. The rain is back. Oh, it's you, Claire. The rain is back in a cool 13 degrees here in Kimbolton. Oh, brace ourselves, everybody. Okay, well, I hope you've got knitting. I have got a new pattern to show you. So I'm going to show you that and talk a little bit about what comes with it. Now, those of you in Wardrobe Toolbox, you'll already know this pattern because it was one of yours last year, the beginning of last year. And it's just a sweet little pattern, but I have to say I thrashed it over the winter. I wore this to pieces. Now I'm going to pop it on because it's quite warm. I'll show you. She's called Viva. Viva. You know, I always want to sing when I say that, but I won't do that to you. Fingers pushing when I'm not revving. Oh, good, Mary. Oh, good. You got your yarn as well. Yes, great. Yes, lots of you I can see are getting stocked up for winter. So now is the time. Grab some more. If you want to get knitting, looking at making the easy V in your lovely wools, but you need more contrast. Okay. I don't know that pattern, Maureen, so I'll have to have a little look and see. But I've got a couple of new colours coming. I'm not quite sure when now because of all of the issues that are happening in Napier, but there will be a couple of more colours coming, which I'm quite looking forward to showing you. So, but that will be another few months yet. So, good morning from Sydney. Yes, thinking of all of you in New Zealand who are coping with the weather. It's a bit nutty. Okay, so this is Viva. She is a cowl. She's like a tube. You knit a tube, and then you twist her and you graft her together. But she's not just that. She has this fabulous mild stitching. Can you see that in there? So you hold two colors together and then you drop one and you just use one, and then you pick up the second one and you carry on. So she's got this garter background where you hold both the colors together and then you drop one and you just use one that pops out. So she's quite subtle. My combo is quite subtle. I used a beautiful cream color and then I used a lovely sort of earthy variegated color. And the details of the yarns I used are in the pattern. I'm not sure that you're actually going to be able to get hold of either of them anymore. But the reason I do this for Wardrobe Toolbox sometimes is I grab yarns, even if I know people can't get hold of them, because a huge part of what we cover in there's some real core pieces of knowledge that we try and cover. And one of those is a really good knowledge of fibers and how they behave and how you would use them and how to substitute. So I do that on purpose. I grab things that you may not always be able to get, and it makes it kind of fun because we get to really experiment with yarn that we might already have, or just, just treat ourselves to a couple more. So she uses this marling technique, which is quite fun. She's knitted in the round, so you only ever have to deal with her on the right side, but you do have to garter. You do have garter in the round, which means you do a purl row. So there is a little bit, there's just a few pearls in there as well, but she's knitted in the round, and then you twist her. So she's like a long strip. You join her together when she's the length you want. You twist her like that, and then you join her together. And I couldn't tell you where she was joined. I couldn't find it. It's absolutely hidden. So she's this perfect loop of yarn with this twist in it. I'll put her on and show you what she looks like. Take my glasses off so I don't bash those. And so she just sits around your neck like that. And I find cowls, I think they're underloved cowls. I find them super useful in the winter, just to grab and throw around your neck. They keep you toasty warm, and they don't come off. And you can put your coat over the top, and you can snuggle up over the top. I quite like wearing them sometimes when I have a jumper that has like a lower neck, for example, and I get a bit of a cold neck. So I like wearing them with those as well. And if you choose lovely, lovely soft yarn, then you just have this cozy sort of loveliness around your neck. So there's a couple of things I thought would be helpful to go through with her. I will take her off because, see, she's got that lovely look. So you don't need to do anything. You just throw her on and she's ready to go. And I find, I just found her really, really useful last winter. One of those ones that is fairly quick to knit, and I just, grab, stuff her in your bag, pop her on, throw her on around the house. Easy peasy. A bit smoky over in Melbourne. Oh, it's bunkers everywhere. Yes, and Morgan is going to run a relaxed Viva knit along for us for a couple of weeks over in the Hangout. So if you want to join in and knit with other people, come and join us in the Hangout on Facebook, and you'll see what everybody's doing and all the tips and tricks for that. She's coming out tomorrow, so make sure you're on my mini mag list, and I will send an email in the morning, and she'll give you the details that you need so you can get a discount. For those of you in Wardrobe Toolbox, you already have access to her, so you might want to join in the knit along if you haven't already knitted her. Maybe you want another one. Otherwise, she'll be coming out tomorrow with a discount. So first things first, I've talked to you about how she's knitted in the round. So it's nice. She's nice and straightforward, but she's got enough interest just to keep you going. All this dropping yarns and picking up yarns and purl rows and things, they make her really interesting. I've got directions for how long to knit her, but you can knit her as long or as short as you like. And depending on the yarn you have, you may find that she blocks out nicely. So she's fairly flexible in terms of sizing. The things I've given you tutorials for, there's 4 video tutorials that come with this pattern that you get access to. There are links in the pattern, so you go straight over to them. One for a provisional cast on. I wrote them down actually in case I've forgotten what they were. One for a long tail provisional cast on, which we use in it. Then you knit it. And then at the end, there are 3 more little techniques that you'll learn. And one is grafting in the round with garter, because that's slightly different than doing it with stockinette. So we grafted in the round with garter, and I show you how to do that. Then we have got another one where we undo our provisional long tail cast on. Actually, we must do that first. I've got them in this order, but anyway, we undo our long tail provisional cast on. And then the last one we have is a duplicate stitch tutorial, because what I've done is I've joined her together, and I honestly couldn't tell you where, because it works beautifully well. And I don't know where I've joined her. But once you've joined her up, then you go back and I get you to duplicate stitch these. It's just, see how these little lines are, they're kind of higgledy. That means that you just have to duplicate stitch every second stripe along. It is every stripe, but it's every second column along. You just duplicate stitch a couple of stitches along to cover the join. It goes all the way around to the back as well. And once you've done that, it's invisible. You can't even see it anymore. It just vanishes into it. So she's quite fun. She's actually quite fun to knit. So you get those. Those will be provided as well. I wanted to talk a little bit about yarn because I've told you that I gave you yarn that you probably can't get anymore. So one skein I use, the colourful skein, is from Black Wattle Yarn and Fibre. It's called their Terra Firma base. Now, some of you might have it because it was the limited edition yarn that we got from Yarnology. Remember Yarnology magazine? When that was launched, you could sign up to get yarn, and that was the yarn. So I used it, and I knew it wouldn't be around forever, but it was just so beautiful, such beautiful yarn. I actually got 2 skeins in my with my magazine, but I had 2 skeins of the cream as well, but I gave them to my sister so she can make exactly the same one. So I don't have them anymore, but I use that. It's the Terra Firma one is the one I used. I think there were 2 colorways to choose from in that Yarnology magazine. And then the other skein is the Skein Queen Enchant in a pale oatmeal. Now, Skein Queen is a UK dyer. Since I've purchased that yarn, the business has sold. She absolutely still does the most beautiful dyeing. I haven't checked in just lately to see that she's still going okay, but last I knew she was still dyeing. I must have bought all the recipes and everything. I just don't know what bases she's still using and whether you can get that yarn. It is a beautiful, beautiful yarn, the Enchant, because it is 70% baby alpaca, 20% silk, and 10% cashmere. So it's soft and fluffy. And I actually knitted a cardigan with it many, many, many years ago. The Audrey and Unst cardigan by, her face is in my head and I can't see her name. But anyway, the Audrey and Unst cardigan, and one of my daughters wears it now. She's pinched it off me, but it's just beautiful, beautiful soft yarn. Now, the thing that both of them have in them that makes that, which you don't have to do, but if you want a cowl that looks a little bit like mine and feels a little bit like mine, so it has a slight haze to it, so everything kind of blends together. It's slightly hazy and it has incredible softness. Then you might want to think about using yarns which have similar fibers in them. So the yarns that I had, the Terra Firma, the colorful one, that is superwash merino, 20% alpaca, 20% silk. So the things that those 2 skeins have in common are baby alpaca or alpaca and silk. So the baby alpaca gives it the little fluff, the oozy softness. The silk gives it real collapse and drape, and it just makes it fall, and just sort of slink around your neck like a slinky, as opposed to something that was, if we compare it to something like 100% wool, then this would be an altogether more springy accessory. It would sit up straight. It wouldn't necessarily slink the same unless you decided to deliberately use a bigger gauge, and then it would just collapse a little bit. But it would all be a little bit, pert and sitting up straight and to attention, and it wouldn't quite have that slinkiness to it, and it may or may not have the softness. If you've steered yourself towards a single spun merino that was just achingly soft, then it would have some of those qualities about it. It would have a little bit more fluff, well, a little bit more of a halo, because that's just the nature of those very soft yarns. Then it would have a little bit more ooziness, because it just doesn't have the springiness that maybe a nice polework, not a polework, that would also be very soft, like a Corriedale would have, or some of the Highland yarn, some of those more robust yarns would have. So you just have a little think about what kind of item you're trying to make. Do you want it to be, how soft do you want it? How drapey do you want it? Do you want it just to slink in itself? Do you want it to have a little bit of a haze, or do you want it to be quite crisp? Do you want your color work to really stand out against the background? In that case, maybe you could use a soft yarn for one of them and then a slightly more robust yarn for the other. It would give you a different look. So you don't have to have the same in both yarns. You could mix things together. I just thought that'd give you a little bit of a taster to see, just to see what you might want to use. I had a little squiz through some of my skeins before to see if there was anything to show you. And in the end, I decided that actually the world is really your oyster. It's just a matter of thinking about, how soft do I need this thing around my neck? Because I know some of you need it particularly soft. And if you do, steer yourself in the direction of either superwash yarns, because they tend to be softer, alpacas, silks, uber soft merinos, all of those things. Steer yourself in that direction if you want it to be particularly soft. If you want it to collapse and be a little bit more drapey rather than up tight against your neck, then also go a little bit further. You might want to throw in a silk or even a linen. You might want to throw something in if you don't need the warmth of it quite so much. But if you do want to have something that is more like a polo neck and fits you really snugly and keeps you warm, and you're not really adverse to having it, well, let's say you want it sitting snugly, but you still want it soft, then go for a pure wool, but make it a soft wool. But you could go for a pure wool and don't have anything else in it that might just help it a little bit. And then if you really don't mind whether it's particularly soft or not, you can go for some of those almost crunchy yarns. If it gets very cold where you are and your neck doesn't feel any kind of scratchiness, then you could get yourself into some of those crunchier yarns, and then you could have a really crisp, clear look to your knit. Or you could have quite a sort of a fuzzy look if you went off in that direction and actually went for a woolen spun. So you can see there's quite a lot of things. There's quite a lot of things that you can think about. That is the whole yarn topic is something I find it endlessly fascinating. I don't think I would ever get bored of talking about yarn and learning more about it. And it is something that we do. Yeah, you wardrobe toolboxes, you'll be sitting there. Yeah, we talk about this. We already talk about this. You'll know. All right. Someone said I must have forgotten my duplicate stitch when I knitted it. I have to go back and do it. Yeah, so there's a tutorial there that shows you exactly how to do that duplicate stitch so that you can fix it up, or you can just perfect the finish, because there's nothing like good perfected finish. I'm not sure that you would pick this up and immediately think someone knitted it. I think it would be, it's a really clean, polished finish to this knit. It really is. It's a lovely finish to it if you just go through all of those steps. Someone said, it's a great knit. I did mine a couple of repeats short and it's snug around my neck, quick and fairly easy. Yeah. Now, because of the yarn I chose, I'm just going to have a sip of my coffee. Hang on. I can feel that frog in my throat when I don't talk much in the morning. I come and talk to you, they will come out. Because I chose a yarn that had the good whack of silk in it and the baby alpaca in it, it did grow well with blocking. So although I gave you a gauge, some people found that they, because it's 2 skeins, some people found that they ran out of yarn. So mine were both 400 meters or 437 yards per skein. I had some left at the end, but some people found they just whipped through it and they used up their skeins without finishing all the repeats. And that seemed to be actually fine, because when they then joined it and put it together, it was still just totally wearable. Because even if you, so I don't know if they swatched, maybe they swatched, but they may not have swatched, because you can see there is quite a bit of room to play with here. So even if you got rid of some of the repeats out of it and it ended up being a little bit shorter, it would still be quite loose around your neck, but you have to take out quite a lot for it to be really quite snug around your neck, like a polar neck. So mine's nice and drapey around my neck, but it doesn't matter if you get to the end and you're just a couple of repeats of this little pattern short, because you can afford to lose some as well, particularly if you've got a yarn that also collapses. And that way you can get in some of those 360 meter skeins as well. Oh, it's you, Morgan. Morning, Libby from Wet Weather. Oh, where are you? Could be anywhere. This wet weather, it's crazy. Anyway, so Viva is out tomorrow. She's really, really fun. I've said here at the bottom, oh, look, I've given you a little tip. A higher contrast between colors A and B will create a striking look. Combining colors close in value will create a significantly more muted appearance. So that's another thing to think about, is colors. Do you want to have them really distinct from one another, quite strong? You know, value is the idea of how much light they have in them. So when you photograph them in black and white, if they have a low value, if they have low contrast value, they look kind of the same, all much the same, grays or blacks or whatever. And if they have high contrast and different in value, then they're going to look quite different from one another. Mine actually were reasonably different, except they're both quite muted, and so they do blend in together beautifully. But it's quite magical watching what happens to your yarn when you combine it with another yarn. I found that really entertaining as I knitted all the way along, because the cream just sort of all the colors just ran through the cream as well. It was really quite fun to do. Hey Judith, it's -4 where you are. Oh my word, it's cold and snowy. Mine looks almost woven. Yeah, I really do love it. I mean, I have worn it a lot, but it's really lovely to wear. It was fun to knit and lovely to wear, and it doesn't take too long to get off your needles. So she'll be out tomorrow, Viva, and just keep an eye on the mini mag so that you can grab yours with a discount if you like. Alrighty, what is the time? 10:22. That's what I wanted to tell you today. I've got a cardigan sitting next to me, which is just like this close to being finished, and I'll show you next time, I think. I'm not going to show you today. I've got some other things to come back and show you. I won't tempt you, because then you'll be all, oh, when is that one coming? So I think I showed you last week. Did I show you last week? I might have. But it's just sitting next to me, and I've been knitting away on it as fast as I can to go. It was really interesting after last week when we talked about time. And that really resonated with so many of you, this idea of time and not having enough time to do things. And we just push for time to get our knitting done. And a lot of you felt that. You left me comments and sent me messages and things about that. And it is quite a struggle, isn't it, to, make time and feel that it's important. It's, DK Timely, yeah, I did show you. This whole time thing is interesting, and I was thinking about it some more. And I listened to someone talking about something the other day, and they're saying, but what if you weren't behind? What if this is just how it is and you're not actually behind at all? You're just where you are. And I thought, that's quite a nice thing to think about. That actually you just let some of these things go when you're feeling like you're constantly chasing your tail. That actually this is just where you are. So I thought I might try that as well this week as I try and catch up with all my work. Yes, Libby, when is that one coming? I know, Becky, I am going to get to you. It shouldn't be long. It will be out for testing. I'm hoping in about a week, maybe 10 days. I think I'll have it all ready. I want to have this one completely ready for you for testing by then. And then I'm anticipating, and Lynn's on here, I'm anticipating we'll release it in April. So sort of mid-April. But I have to talk to Lynn this week about that. So, but that's what I'm thinking. But in terms of testing, I know you're testing, Becky, then I would say by the end of next week, possibly the beginning of the week after, and then we'll be ready for testing. But I'm almost ready to give you yardage ideas for those of you who are in my testing group. People, if you want to join my testing group, you're more than welcome. I always really value my testers. They do such a great job. We've got a nice pool of people, big pool of people You don't have to test everything. You can just test the things that appeal to you. I've been pretty bad over the last year or so and giving people deadlines that are way too short, which has been challenging for everybody. But that is going to change in 2023. You're going to get much longer deadlines, mostly much longer deadlines, hopefully, for most of the things. And because I'm able to just kind of catch up on myself now, my life is settling down slightly. But if you want to join and become a tester, I would love to have you. It would be fantastic. So all you need to do is just drop me an email and just let me know that you'd like to be a tester. We always, I am promising to give you bigger deadlines. I'm doing my best. I know that's Amanda saying that, and I'm definitely going to do my best. This Timely is the first one where I'm giving you a really nice deadline, long deadline. So I have got a shawl though coming, guys, that might be slightly shorter deadline, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. If just let me know you want to do it. We do work to deadlines. I am not a very hard task master. I do try and give you a lot of flexibility so that if I don't mind if you do modifications, just check in with me first, just so I know what to expect. We can talk about what sizes to choose. You can add your own twist for things. Oh, it's Morgane again. I know there's so many of you getting at me about these deadlines. I'm hearing you. So I really don't, I'm not precious about this. What I'm interested to know is that things are fitting in the right places, so that's why I'd like to know where you're making modifications, because then I can assess that, the fit side of it. And I know you're thinking, I can see you all chatting there now about this testing. You're so rude, you people. You're not really. Anyway, but I don't mind some modifications. I don't mind if you put a bit of a twist on it. I actually quite enjoy that, to be honest. And I really don't need you to be expert knitters either. So if you are feeling that you're not sure about testing because you're not a confident knitter or not confident garment knitter, you're actually exactly some of the people I need. So I need people who are confident knitters. I need people who are not confident knitters, and I need people in the middle. And I need people of all shapes and sizes, please, because I have a wide range of sizes, but I find there are clumps of sizes that are most popular. So if you are, you don't have to be a particular size. Just if you want to do testing, you can come and test. You don't have to have any particular skills, but it is nice if you tell me everything that's wrong with it. That's what I like. I don't get offended. I just don't get offended. I'm not that. I just don't tend to. So I don't. And so if you find something wrong with it, or you think I could write something better, you just tell me that, because that makes a much better pattern. And I really do listen, and I really will try and rephrase things. Sometimes I think, I'm just going to keep it how it was because I think it's actually fine. Sometimes I will do that. But a lot of the time I'll listen to what you're saying and I will think, oh, yeah, it's much better. I don't know why I hadn't thought about that myself. And so then I will make a change to the way I've written something or described something. And it's really, really incredibly helpful to me and to everybody who then knits the pattern. So if you are someone, it's also really helpful if you read the pattern. That's also really helpful, so that you read it, you use the pattern. That you'll often have the choice of charts or written. You don't have to do both. You can choose the one that you fancy. But as long as you just tell me anything that you think, that's weird, Libby, why'd you do that? Or that's strange, or there's a full stop in the wrong place, or a capital letter there, or whatever it is, I don't care. Then you can tell me all of these things, and that's the whole point of it. So I take it on board. So yes, thank you. Yes, if you want to join, then just email hello@trulymyrtle.com and let us know. That would be really good. Yay, Michelle. Okay, you're here live. That's good. Really looking forward to this test knit. I know. I think, look, I will show you. Should I show you? It's been really fun knitting it. I'm so close to being finished. It's just about finished. I just have to do I'm just on the band at the bottom. And look, I'm really pleased with it. It's lovely. So I'm not going to show it in too much detail. I will show it to you later. Someone said, I thought it would be nice to test knit, but discounted it because I don't have a lot of experience and I'm a bit slow. So we do have deadlines. But in my perfect dream world, I give you a good length of time to do things. So if I ideally, I would give you a month, 6 weeks to do a garment. I used to do that. I was really quite efficient in working ahead, and I will get back to that. I'm going to put in a lot of work and get back to that. So that is the aim. Sometimes I will say to you, okay, I just need you to get to here. I'll say, I just need you to start. I want the yoke done. If you could do one sleeve and just get to here. And that would be all I need from you, because the other part is kind of straightforward, and I don't really need you to be telling me about that. If you can finish, I'm over the moon, as always. And if you can take finished photos, I am even more over the moon. So, but sometimes I just need to know what's happening. You don't have to be the speediest knitter in the world. If you finish on time by my sometimes crazy deadline, then I do have gifts for you. So you'll get a free pattern for a thank you. So it is nice. It's really nice. It's a lovely group of people in there too. There's lots and lots of people in there. So they don't all do everything. And when we do the wardrobe toolbox patterns, I just sometimes I'll say, okay, close your eyes if you don't want to see what that one is. If you're in wardrobe toolbox and you don't want to see it, just close your eyes, because you'll get it anyway. And then they get to close their eyes, and then they don't even know what they're going to join in the knit. They don't even know what test they're going to join everybody else, and they jump in and then they get to see it. So that's actually quite fun too. Excellent. Oh, good, Shell. Yeah, well, see, I reckon you could do it too then. I've thought about being a test knitter, but was concerned about deadlines. Yeah. Well, it's ideal if you're able to. Like, if you know that you're crazy busy, and there's just no way that you're going to be able to get something done, then maybe pass on that one. But if you think, oh yeah, I could do that, I that looks really fun, I'm just going to like focus on this and I'm going to do this knit, then yeah, go for it. Because yeah, like Becky says, it really makes you finish garments. It gets you to do it. And the test knitters, they know each other and they help each other, yeah, and they have some lovely chats among themselves. Yeah, that's true. It's really good. It's lovely. It's just more of this. It's more of this over there. It's really nice. Okay, everybody. So Viva, she's out tomorrow. I think you'll love her. I think you'll love her as much as I did. She's really fun to wear. I'm looking forward to it getting cold again so I can throw her on again, actually. And yeah, I quite like the idea of accessories, of choosing colors that go with pretty much everything I wear. It makes them so wearable then, doesn't it? So I can just grab her and throw her on, and she's just, yeah, she just goes with so many of my clothes, all of these colors. These are all my clothes, and more blue these days, but that goes with this too. So keep an eye on your mini mag, and all the links to all the tutorials that show you the little intricacies of her are included in the pattern. And like Morgan said, we'll run a really casual knit along over the next few weeks for Viva in the Hangout. So some of you are in the Hangout because you're watching this there. Those others of you are over on YouTube. And if you fancy it, come and join us on Facebook in the Hangout and join the knit along. It should be really nice. Okay, everybody, I will catch you next week. Same time, same place next week. Is it March next week already? I think it might be March when I see you next time. I think it is. This is what is happening to the world. It's just going too fast. All right, I'll see you next week for March, and knit lots. Enjoy yourselves. Take care. Look after each other, and I'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody. See you later.